What's up, guys? Ween here, and I am going to be doing a reaction to another video, a Just Pearly Things video, where it looks like the title is, I think, Love and Meaningless Sex, something along those lines. And we'll dive right in and see kind of what's being talked about here. Um, I like Pearl's content, although I do disagree with her quite a bit on a lot of things. The only thing that kind of I dislike is she's constantly talking to people uh, who are much less intelligent than her, have spent much less time researching any of these topics, which kind of she uses people like that to kind of promote her way of thinking and make it seem like she's correct and right all the time because she kind of has more arguments, more tools at her disposal for these topics that she's discussing. So that part annoys me. I've seen some of her content recently where she's kind of either either been on a talk show or debated some people who are a little bit more kind of in the space, a little bit more intelligent. So hopefully I get more of that because that'll be more interesting to me. But let's dive right into this video.
The more sex you had, the more children you had.
Yeah.
But now, that's why you only had, back in the day, you only had sex with one person because you're going to have kids with them. But now, there's less kids, there's more sex because there's contraception. And that's what the men don't want. So you might say, you know what, they might want me because I've not had no children, but you might have no children.
I don't know where the narrative comes from. Men really don't want women to have had sex with more people. I think it's more a lot of times the characteristics that go along with the men that those type of women are chasing and who those women are outside of just the fact that they're having sex with other people. But let's listen more.
Children, but 15 previous partners. And that's the difference.
But how would they know? That's another thing. Like, I
They
feel
don't
like
know.
Men talk.
Not
You can
only
see
that,
anyway.
I mean, the same way when you're dating, you're vetting a woman. You're vetting a man. I'm vetting a woman. Once you're with them for a while, you'll start seeing. Even if you never say to me, "Oh, I was with 15 guys," you'll start seeing little things that
I
will
mean, I guess-
present themselves like,
They said let a woman talk, she'll tell on herself.
yeah, definitely. But and if
Because it shouldn't matter. She should be able to say, we'll watch.
if this is the guy you want, don't you want to be honest? Like, don't you want him to really know you inside out?
I would agree,
If you feel that there's nothing wrong with it, it doesn't matter, then you should be sticking to what you think. Oh, I've been with 20 guys. Now, do you want me? And if you can't say it with your chest, maybe you shouldn't have been with 20 guys.
I would agree, but the
Not
way
you, but you know what I'm
yeah, I would agree, but the way you guys are placing value on body count, it would, like, in my head, that would make women want to lie about it. That's what I mean. Like, that's the women that wouldn't want to be honest because of the value that's placed on it.
Well, they do lie about it.
That's why you're supposed to start from young.
Yeah, then you
She's
don't have
saying
to.
they lie about it because of the perception, which is changing. I mean, in general, the more men and women become equal, and I'm not just saying equal like, you know, I guess more similar is what I meant to say, not equal. But the more men and women become more similar, the less that perception's going to matter. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, and I think a lot of people already, but
Like, I've had 3,
Yeah.
and you say it with your chest.
No, but this is what I'm saying. You're saying that.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to her point because
All
she
right.
said that a man wouldn't want a woman with the history, with a long history. But I'm saying because our generation placing so much value on it, that's what's going to give women the tendency to lie. And your point was women wouldn't lie because they would want to be honest with whoever it is. But because you're placing value, it's like a circle. It's like we're going around in circles.
No, he's not.
so this is, I mean, and I've heard Pearl argue this before, and I'm pretty sure she's tried to cite statistics like that more men don't want women with higher body counts and stuff like that. I actually don't think it's the case. I think this is like a data bias, whereas if you look at more women who have sex with more people, a lot of times what's happening is that's due to the way, you know, a way they were raised. I mean, again, there shouldn't be anything wrong with having sex with a lot of people, as women if they want to and if they're safe about it. But I think what happens is the the majority or large amount of the women who are sleeping around more often also happen to have other negative personality traits that make them less desirable, which then um, puts this stigma on them and this thought process for men that higher body count is worse. Which again, I don't give a. I mean, I'm married, but I wouldn't give a shit about body count. And I think that's the same for a lot of my friends. But I mean, maybe the newer generation, I don't know, it cares more about that sort of thing. I'm sure the older generation did because vast differences in culture and customs from them. But uh, yeah, I just don't think it has to do with the body count. I mean, it's the perception from the olden days, and it's olden days perception from like the boomers and stuff, and when they were, you know, and their culture with, sticking with one woman, and then it's just the majority of women who sleep around. I say majority, but a lot of women who sleep around have other negative personality traits, and that's going to change more and more the more confident women get, to do what they want and to have fun, enjoy their life. So
Saying that women wouldn't lie. He's saying like now you have to live with a secret the rest of your life.
Like you're
'Cause,
starting
yeah.
your marriage based on a lie.
Stop.
Yeah, and
Like,
so
wouldn't you
like I don't
yourself want to be with someone there where you thought you was being
Yeah.
honest with?
in
Well,
every
'cause
relationship,
I don't necessarily think it's
they're
like
lying to each other in the
over for
beginning of
girls
the
that have a high
relationship.
body count. Because I ask guys this question all the time. I say, okay, would you prefer a girl with this many body, like a higher body count, but she hasn't slept with anyone you know? Or I say, would you rather a girl that slept with two guys you know? Those are the only other guys she slept with. And every guy says high body count as long as
High
I don't
body
know
count.
him. As long as I don't know him.
I don't know can't hurt
So
me.
girls can get away with it. They just move, right? But like the issue is it's internal because it hurts your ability to pair bond.
So she
And so you can't connect with the guy you're supposed to be with as much if you've been with like guy after guy after guy after guy. You're exchanging energies.
Yeah, I do get what you mean.
I think that's a dumb argument. You can't relate to your partner. It's a different relationship. They're gonna like different things. You bond over that. I just don't understand the point in what she's saying. So I'm just gonna write it off.
But again, I feel like another assumption, I feel like it is probably the case, but another assumption we're making is that the older you are, the higher your body count is.
Well, it's more likely.
Yeah, it
because
is.
you're going to have had,
Obviously.
it's just, okay. If you're 18 or if you're 21, right, versus 35, you're going to have had more relationships by the time you're 35. And I know the girls, trust me, I see some of my, I'm not going to name names, but some of the young girls these days, I'm like, y'all are wild. And they're younger than me, right? But they've definitely been with way more people than I have. But it's just, how do I put it? Like they can't undo the damage to themselves.
Yeah.
And there's still some value in youth. So they still have like that youth aspect. And that's valuable to a guy.
Is she saying, damn it, they're mentally damaged from so many partners, like that they're which may be the case in some situations. I'm not sure if I understand what she's saying. I think that's what she's saying.
So would you say that someone that's 35 with a lower body count would be seen as more valuable than someone that's younger with a higher body count?
I don't know. Ask the guys.
That's
I think youth
I'd
is
say
gonna
it's an
rule
equal one, only
that sense.
because someone that's young with a high body count has youth. Someone that's old with a low body count doesn't have youth, but they have body count. So
Yeah,
I think the youth
it's
matters more.
It's a catch-22.
But typically, like women at 35 have like the worst of both worlds. Like I would say it's an exception that a girl makes it to 35 and hasn't slept with more than 5 people, but you could find a girl at 21 that hasn't done that a lot easier.
I don't know what we're. Yeah, the 35-year-old is gonna have a harder time
Just
finding
in
someone than
like
21-year-old.
law in general, right? There's exceptions.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy on my show that married a girl in her 30s that was a virgin. Like there's exceptions. It's just not the rule.
Yeah, it definitely is. I feel like, again, it just goes, it depends highly on what the person values in a woman. Yeah.
Hey, look, this is advice for you because more so like you're a pretty girl, and more so you'd find someone a lot easier and better that you'd deem high value if you was to vet now as opposed to at 35. and like a lot of
I
women.
don't aim on being I don't aim on being single at 35. I just don't agree with, because the problem
I don't even understand that. It's better for her to start looking for a guy now than later. Like, of of course, the pool becomes more shallow. Like I don't like when people ask like dumb questions like that.
with that term leftover is I feel like it's all based on fertility. Like you're placing a woman's value on her ability to have kids. That's my problem.
Well, it's because what does the guy get out of the deal? Like, why would a guy get married? Most of the time, it's for kids.
It's for partnership. I mean, kids is a part of it, but it's for partnership. I mean, it's also to, it's help pay the bills. It's to have someone to talk to. I mean, why would you think it's just kids? Like you just pick. If it was just kids, guys would get you know get married to someone, have kids, divorce right away. I don't know. It's just she's always extreme on one side of the argument.
Yeah, I do get what you mean, but it's just me personally. I'm not saying there's a problem with men doing that, but me personally, I just don't think a woman's value should be based on her ability to have children.
Well, we can say it shouldn't, but it is what it is, right? Like I don't enjoy that. The older I get, the less value I'm going to have. But
That's everybody.
it is what it is. Like
It's
I
meant
think
to.
it's worse to ignore reality and just hope for the best when I turn
Less so,
35.
but it's meant to.
I would say it's definitely true. Again, like I said, like me personally, I wouldn't wait till 35 to be considering. But my problem is I just don't like. I disagree with the term leftover. Like I really disagree with that.
Do you
term.
think it's untrue?
I wouldn't say it's untrue, but I disagree with it. Like
Okay.
something could
So
be
you don't-
something could be real.
So like, what is she? I wouldn't say it's untrue, but I disagree with it. It's either true or not true, or I mean, it's at least true to a certain degree. I mean, and it is true to certain. If you're 35 and still not with somebody, and again, there are exceptions. I mean, things happen in relationships that you thought was going to work out, but um, if you're someone who's like never had a stable relationship and now you're 35, like yeah, you're kind. I mean, I don't want to leftovers a bad term for it, kind of a mean term, but um, it's obviously showing that you're more difficult to be with or something. But there's plenty of people out there who either they had a couple long-term relationships that went bad. It's not like they weren't chosen. Like just the relationship went bad, something happened, the guy cheated, something like that. I mean, so yeah.
Like it's real, but I still something could be real. Like this is the real life case, but I still disagree.
Okay,
with
so
it.
so in a way, you don't disagree. You agree. You just don't like it.
Or is it the
To an
wording?
extent, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Can't change
Yeah,
that.
That's
like
left.
say
But
it-
that, just know
say
that's what's left over.
Isn't that Chinese thing, that leftover, isn't it?
like
Something to do with the
leftover.
Chinese. I think it was something to do with the
In the
Chinese.
chat, should
Love
we make
leftover
merch
Chinese
with leftover women?
Yeah.
Like leftover, it sounds like food. Like it just sounds so
leftovers.
derogative.
Sometimes
you
the
want food?
leftovers are nice.
But the thing is, would you want food that everybody else has picked at?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Would you want food that everybody else has picked at? You're hungry, you see a plate of food there and everybody's picked it. Would you really go and eat it? You're hungry.
That's the
only
leftovers.
food that's left there. Would you go and eat it?
Speaking to the mic.
You wouldn't go and eat it because it's leftover.
It's not a proper example. It's because I think people are spitting all over the food. It's not like you could wash the food or anything. Like, it's not like they're asking you, yo, this girl just banged a bunch of dudes, and it's 3 minutes after, and now it's it's just not a good example. I see what they're trying to do though.
Leftovers. Everybody's been at it. And that leftover food on that plate is the woman. Everybody's picked at it. There's nothing left. They've got all the chicken wings. They've left all the bones left. They've left all the gristle. Everything's there. Who wants it?
Not me.
Not me.
It's got to be somebody starving and hard up.
Right.
And that's what the women are going to end up with.
That-
We're not going
yeah.
to say you're going to be single. You're going to end up with somebody starving and hard up who can do no better but eat the leftovers.
So it is true in the sense that the pool is shallower when you're older. So I mean, when you're older, more people have paired up. So they're just leftovers, a terrible term. So that's what that girl was saying. She didn't like the word leftover for it because in most situations it's out of your control. In so many situations, it's out of your control. Um, decent video. I didn't, I didn't hate everything that Pearl was saying there. But she's too extreme on certain topics. She loves to do that, and I think at least partially it's probably a little bit of an act. She knows that the way to get the reactions, the way to get the views is to say something a little polarizing. Um, but yeah, the leftover food bit isn't a good comparison. I mean, whatever. Um, but yeah, interesting video. Please like and subscribe. Trying to build this channel, slowly throwing videos up. But appreciate you watching, and I'll come back with another video within a few days. Thanks.